All right, so I'm going to show you guys one of the best exercises that you can incorporate into your day-to-day life for your spine with very little time commitment and no setup required at all. So if there were an equivalent to brushing your teeth for your spine, this exercise would be it. We're going to do it just sitting at a desk here. So I'm just going to use my treatment table. You could use a desk, you could use your kitchen table, whatever works for you. You could also do this on your hands and knees, but because a lot of people struggle to be on their hands and knees due to wrist pain, you can do this option sitting, and I'll show you this version instead, but the exercise would look the exact same if you were doing it on your hands and knees. The nice benefit of this as well is that unfortunately most of us spend a lot of our days sitting. So one of the bonuses of this is that you can easily inject this into your day when you're already sitting at your desk, at your table, or wherever. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to start with my hands on my desk and I'm going to attempt to move my spine one vertebrae at a time so that each and every joint in my spine gets a chance to move, gets nourished, and you're also going to get an appreciation for how many of those joints you can actually move and feel and what areas you might be struggling with. So I'm going to start with the top of my neck and work my way all the way down to my tailbone. I'll be looking straight ahead. I'm going to give myself as many chins as I possibly can. Then I'm going to bring all of those chins down into my chest. Now notice how my shoulders are staying relaxed here. They're not hiking up towards my ears. We don't want your shoulders to try and act as your spine, so keep them relaxed. You're then going to take your sternum and you're just going to float it backwards as you slowly round your spine between your shoulder blades, making your way lower and lower and lower through your spine until you get to your low back and pelvis, at which point you're going to imagine or try to actually feel your sit bones moving underneath you as you round your spine. You'll end in full spine flexion, but once again, take note how my shoulders are not up towards my ears. It's just my spine doing the work here. Now I'm going to reverse with my tailbone. So I'm going to take my pelvis, I'm going to tilt it forward, and I'm then going to start creeping my way up my spine, finding those little muscles that live on either side of my spine, turning them on as I creep my way up, imagining a string attached to my sternum, pulling it up towards the ceiling as I get between my shoulder blades, pulling my collarbones up towards the ceiling, and then ending by looking up. Now I can reverse this and I could go with my head, I could go with my tailbone, so I could bring my chin all the way back into my chest. If I hit the fast forward button here, I would then work my way from the top down, and I could also do the same thing going back up into extension. I could also reverse from the bottom, so you could go both ways. You can go bottom up or top down. Get good at both. You don't want to get too reliant on always having to go one way. You should be able to move every piece of your spine one piece at a time, going bottom up and top down. So that's something you can incorporate into your day very easily. If you are a client of mine, make sure to check your program to see how often you're doing it, how many reps you're doing it. But a very minimum recommendation that I recommend people start with would be like sit down and do at least 3 to 5 reps and try to do that at least once a day. Realistically though, most of us could be doing way more than that, especially with how much time we spend sitting and how little time this exercise takes. While the return on investment is huge because it's going to keep your spine healthy, it's going to keep your cartilage healthy, and it's going to keep keep your longevity of your spine in mind, in addition to offering you some immediate benefits.